The Lord continues to instruct Arjuna. Without renouncing aught, and without the egotistic feeling I enjoy or I suffer, one should remain in an equanimous state in all natural situations. Instead of thinking or assuming or have this underlying commentary which says, this is happening to me, understand everything as simply, this is happening, rather than this is happening to me. When we consider ourselves to be spiritual, what we're often getting caught up in is some kind of mental, emotional training. If you're a Buddhist, for example, then you'll be concerned with wholesome and unwholesome mental states. And you'll see, well, there are certain situations which are conducive to wholesome mental states, and certain situations which are conducive to unwholesome mental states. So you start dividing things up. You start dividing your situations up. You start imposing some kind of disciplined structure on your life, which is fine. But that's not spirituality, that's mental or emotional training. Here we're involved in not imposing any structure whatsoever in terms of ourselves. We're turning our awareness to what is happening right here in the moment. And we do that by turning the awareness to itself. And we're no longer concerned with our personal drama. This is what a lot of supposedly spiritual people are concerned about. They're concerned about optimizing their personal drama. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. So we don't give up anything in the sense that we're trying to manipulate things. And we're not pursuing senses of enjoyment or ideas about suffering. We're not feeding ideas about suffering. Suffering is very much part of a lot of people's personal drama. We have this assumption that somehow suffering ennobles. So if somebody's suffering, then it gives them a sense of high drama about themselves. It's not to say that there isn't some very real suffering going on, but a lot of what people think is suffering is no more than part of their personal drama. And this is what the Advaita teachings are addressing. This is the suffering, the sorrow that they're addressing. Sorrow which is no more than part of somebody's personal drama. So we turn the attention to itself, we turn the attention to simply what's happening, and we can say this is pleasurable. We can acknowledge something as pleasurable or something as painful, but really we don't want to do that either. So instead of saying I'm enjoying this or I'm feeling miserable, we can then say, well, there are sensations here. Some of them are pleasurable and some of them are unpleasant. Then we can just simply say there are sensations going on. And this is being equanimous in all natural situations. These are the situations which are going on all the time. Do not entertain the feeling of this is self or consciousness towards what is not self, non-consciousness. We shouldn't actually entertain that feeling at all. When the body perishes, nothing is lost. The self is never lost. The self is by definition the indestructible and infinite consciousness. Never let even the thought the self is perishable in your mind. Now what does this mean? The self is imperishable. Does this mean that we're never going to die? Well, you as a personality, you as an individual ego, are changing all the time. And at some point you will peter out. At some point the wave crashes upon the shore into lots of little bits of foam, and then nothing. And the extent to which you identify with that self is the extent to which you are mortal. But if you identify with the self, which transcends your limited notions of who you are, then yes, you're not only immortal, but you are the same as everybody else. You realise that we're all incarnations of each other. This awareness, which, if I described it as my awareness, is also the same as your awareness. The light in my eyes is the same as the light in your eyes. Awareness is completely uncoloured by the personalities that arise within it. So no matter what your personality, your fundamental awareness is uncoloured. It's independent of space and time. This is why it's described as omnipresent. It's not different from my awareness. Although it's more appropriate to say that I am the personality of awareness, as you are.